Team, today's video is about preventing injury while exercising. I've been seeing a lot of questions about that, so I thought let's jump right in, let's address it. Now I've made a little list so I don't forget what I want to talk about. So if I glance down at my super fancy list, that's what's happening here. Number 1, talk to your doctor. Where should I set this in between talking? And I'm sure a lot of you are like, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to call my doctor and ask if I can start working out. I know you need to say that. But actually, if you have any sort of pre-existing condition or any injury, or you're on any types of medications, maybe you just had a baby, maybe you suffer from osteoarthritis, maybe you have a shoulder injury you need to work around, maybe you're on blood pressure medication. If any of this stuff applies to you, talk to your doctor, because there might be certain modifications you'll need to implement. There might be certain exercises you should be avoiding, and conversely, there should be certain exercises you might be wanting to incorporate to rehab an injury. So all of these things you should keep in mind. Talk to your doctor specifically if you have any pre-existing condition, anything going on with your health, any kind of injury, you're on any kind of medication. All right, number 2. Gear. Yes, cheesy. I know you've heard this one before. But if you pulled out the old sneakers that have been in the closet, my parrot is just had to weigh in. If you hear something that sounds like a car alarm, that is actually the bird. Ignore it. Okay. If you've pulled out those sneakers you've had in the closet for, a decade, no. It's time to invest in some proper gear. And while you might not understand, how can this create an injury? Listen, we are not accustomed to running, jumping, exercising barefoot, right? Now, you can acclimate yourself to that, but you need proper gear when you're starting out. Shoes that fit your foot. I have a super wide foot. If I exercise in a narrow foot, it causes a narrow foot. If I exercise in a narrow shoe, it causes something in my foot called a Morton's neuroma. It pinches a nerve between the metatarsals in my 3rd and 4th toe. So bottom line is, gear is really important. It's super important for me. And I'm pretty good at this whole workout thing, making sure you've got the right shoes, making sure you have comfortable gear, but shoes, most importantly, will help you avoid things like heel spurs, Morton's neuroma, plantar fasciitis, all kinds of issues and injuries. So get the right pair of shoes. Invest in the right pair of shoes. Next one. Now the dog wants to come in. He's scratching at the... Do I stop and let him in? We're 3 minutes in. I'm going to keep going. And now I have to defer to my list. Okay, what was number 3? Train at your fitness level. Thank you. So I see a lot of confusion. I can't do HIIT training or I can't do yoga. That's not true. These are all modalities that you absolutely can do. The key is, if you're a beginner, do yoga for beginners. If you are a beginner, do HIIT workouts for beginners. HIIT training is just high intensity interval training. So what might be high intensity for a beginner could be something as straightforward as marching in place really fast for 20 seconds. It doesn't mean you need to do box jumps. So look for the workout you want to do and pick beginner if you're a beginner. So another example, I have walking programs in the app. I have walk a 5K program in the app. I have learn to jog a 5K program in my app. You pick the program that fits your fitness level. You don't need to shy away from certain fitness modalities. Find the yoga for beginners, HIIT workouts for beginners. I have beginner HIIT workouts in the DVDs, all of it. I'm not on fire today. In my app, and so do a host of other fitness professionals. Considering that I can't stay on track to save my life. Number 4, expert advice. Yes, sorry. Okay. When you read a recipe, I don't know about you, I'm not a chef. I read a recipe, set the temperature to 375, cook it for 10 minutes and then flip it, use this kind of a pan, use these ingredients. Fitness is the same. Whenever you're starting something or you're unsure of how to do it, seek expert advice. Let an expert say, hey, start out doing a wall sit, try an air squat, try a weighted squat using a pair of 5-pound dumbbells. The bottom line is, let an expert teach you about form. Let an expert teach you how to progress your workouts. If you don't know how to do something, get expert advice. A squat, it seems really basic, right? You think like, oh, I'm gonna do squats, but maybe you're not doing it right, and that can cause a lot of injuries. So there's things you need to know, right? I would tell you, I have a whole video on how to do a proper squat. Like squeeze your glutes, make sure your hips are square. This is the position your feet need to be in. Angle your toes slightly out. Think about sitting backwards, not sitting down. Get expert advice. It will help you prevent injury and you'll get results that much more quickly. What was number 5? Why can't I remember? Oh, because there's like 8 of these. That's probably why I need my little list. Do you think I should? I'm just going to hold it. So I'm going to put it down and pick it back up. Another one you've heard a lot, warm up. Warm up and cool down, but really warm up. Why? Literally, you can do a 5-minute light cardio warm up. You can, sometimes I run up and down the stairs in my house. Sometimes I jump rope for 3 to 5 minutes. You can do mountain climbers, jumping jacks, butt kicks, high knees. You can do low impact stuff. You can do alternating punches. You can walk around the block, warm up. And what it's doing is it's preparing your body to exercise. Your joints, your ligaments, your tendons. It's improving your range of motion. It's allowing your blood to circulate better, get oxygen to the muscles. Not better, but it's increasing your circulation. All of these things are important. You're literally warming yourself up from the inside out, and that helps to prevent injury. So I like to tell people, think of your muscles like a rubber band, right? When you're cold and you pull that rubber band, it's got a better chance of snapping, right? But when we warm up the rubber band, it's far more flexible and mobile. Warm up, take the time. 5 minutes, dynamic stretches, or low intensity steady state cardio. Cool down, also important. One of the ways you could get injured by not cooling down is if you have something called blood pool, where the blood pools in your extremities and it can make you faint, it can make you dizzy, make you lightheaded. So just gradually decrease the intensity of your workout. It really is that simple, right? If you're running, walk for 3 minutes. If you're going bananas, gradually slow down. It allows your heart rate and your blood pressure to lower gradually, keeps the blood circulating, cool down. All right, recovery. So you've got rest days, and then you've got active recovery days. So rest days, I like to say especially if you're a beginner, take at least 2 total rest days a week, at least. Active recovery days are also great, but an active recovery day would be like a very low intensity, steady state cardio workout. I have like recovery runs in my app, for example, or a long hike or a bike ride, or you might swim. And all it's doing is it's helping to improve circulation. It's helping with that, it's called DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. So active recovery can also be dynamic stretching. It can also be foam rolling. It can also be static stretching. All of these things help with soreness and mobility and recovery. So essentially, that will help you prevent an injury, right? All right, I got recovery, I got warm up, cool down. Know when to stop. I don't want to tell you no pain, no gain isn't a thing. I don't love working out. I feel the pain of it. I'm out of breath. Sometimes I go a little too crazy and I get a little bit nauseous. When I sit in my wall sit and my quads feel like they're going to ignite, I feel that pain, right? But there's a difference between, ooh, I feel the burn, a la, Jane Fonda circa 1985, which is still just as relevant today, and, oh, it feels like something's gonna snap or pop or tear or pull. Stop right away. If you go to do a pull-up and you feel something wonky happening in your shoulder blade, right, or rotator cuff, something feels off, stop. You feel a pull in your elbow, potentially your bicep tendon, you stop right away. That's not the kind of pain you push through. So you're out of breath, sure. You don't go over your maximum heart rate, you'll be fine. That's a good rule, right? 220 minus your age. Don't allow your heart to beat faster than that. You're out of breath, it's painful, but you can keep going. You feel the burn in your muscles because you're fatigued, you can keep going until it compromises your form, right? And then you stop. So that's another one. Form. If your form is compromised from fatigue, stop training. More is not more there, right? So training smart is better than training hard or doing more, okay? So we got know when to stop, we got form, and this is another good rule of thumb. Don't up the ante too quickly. So people are always thinking like, I gotta progress, I gotta move, I gotta go, I gotta do more. I did 100 pounds last week, I did 110 this week. Progression is good, but my rule of thumb with progression is that you do no more than 10% increase. So whether it's an increase in the amount of reps, right? So if you do 10 reps, try 11. If it's the same weight, if you did 10 pounds, maybe you'll go to 12 pounds, right? You do sixes in each hand instead of fives in each hand. Gradual progressions over time. So if you're consistent with your training, a 2-week period, and then I might up the ante 10% on the reps, or the time under tension, or the amount of weight I'm lifting, or the type of exercise I'm doing. So let's say I have somebody doing push-ups on the back of a couch because it's easier, it's an elevated platform. I might lower them down to a higher coffee table in 2 weeks and see how they do. If their form is good, we'll stay there. If their form is bad, we go back up to the top of the couch, right? Then if they've mastered the coffee table in 2 weeks, we might try a couple reps on the ground. And then if their form is compromised, we go back to the coffee table. But don't progress too quickly, and don't increase more than 10% of those 3 modalities, and pick one. So don't do reps and weight, right? Do one or the other. Don't change, I'm gonna go from push-ups on the back of the couch to push-ups on the table, and then I'm gonna add more reps. Pick one and progress gradually. And remember, listen to your body. And of course, hydrate. I mean, that goes without saying. Sleep, there's a lot I could say. But injury prevention specifically, this is so elaborate that soon I'm gonna learn how to fly shit in, like graphics and soon. Okay, team, don't forget, I created this channel just for you guys. So click like, subscribe, and let me know what you want to hear more about. If it's diet, fitness, wellness, mindfulness, I'm here for you. So give me your feedback.